Hello there, fellow intrepid explorers of the Zelda timeline. Gather round and rest your weary bones for a spell, whilst I recount the ancient legend of Demise's curse. In a time immemorial, the great hero of the skies descended so that he might best the leader of the demon clan in an epic and somewhat frustrating battle. Indeed, the hero of the skies not realised until after the fact that you're supposed to use the Skyward Strike in the final phase of the battle. But upon defeating the leader of the demon clan, Demise, aka the bringer of Demise, aka this chunk of a hunk, a curious thing happened. From Demise's demise we can surmise what lies in the centre of the enigmatic Zelda timeline. The reincarnation cycle. Why is it that history tends to repeat itself with such accuracy in Hyrule? Think about it. Time and time again, evil rises, a hero named Link must stop it, and a princess named Zelda is usually involved in some capacity. Let's look to the dying words of the swole demon man for some insight. Extraordinary! You stand as a paragon of your kind, human. You fight like no man or demon I have ever known. Though this is not the end. My hate never perishes. It is born anew in a cycle with no end. I will rise again. And those like you, those who share the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero, they are eternally bound to this curse. An incarnation of my hatred shall ever follow your kind, dooming them to wander a blood-soaked sea of darkness for all time. Now, if you scour the net for dregs of Zelda lore like I do, you may have found that there are some differences between the Japanese text and the English translation. Chiefly, in Japanese, Demise doesn't have a name, just a title. The Bringer of Demise, or the Apocalyptic One, or Big Daddy. Not really, that last one's a joke. Also, Demise Boy mentions on numerous occasions the demon clan or demon tribe, of which he is the leader, and the goddess tribe, you know, his enemies. We might come back to that later, if I remember. Take note that Demise specifically refers to his hatred being passed on, not himself, Zelda's bloodline, and the hero's spirit. So, the hero is the only one implied to be reincarnated. This would explain some apparent incongruences with the details of certain legends. For example, Zelda 2 has two Zeldas. I mean, it's right there in the title. Breath of the Wild features Hylia and Zelda as separate entities, and also in Breath of the Wild, Zelda's mother was also a Zelda and also had magical properties. This is because Zeldas are not necessarily reincarnations, rather descendants of the original Zelda from Skyward Sword. Now, you may be thinking about bloodlines and descendants and say, what about Link? In the Downfall timeline, Link has no family and perishes before producing offspring. Ah, but each Link is a reincarnation, meaning they need not be related. And worry not, ye tired folk, I will not be delving into the mysteries of the Downfall timeline in this specific video, for that way madness lies. And speaking of madness, I see you. No, not you. Yes, you. You're about to bring up Gramps, aren't you? From Link Between Worlds. And the whole Triforce Heroes thing. And before you bring that up, just don't, please, just can't take it. I need a distraction. Need to change the subject. Demise. What about Demise? Does he reincarnate? Or does he have little Demisey sprogs to carry on the bloodline? Aww. Well, no, because it's Demise's hatred and malice that live on, and not the Demon King himself. And I know in English, Demise says, "I will rise again." But in Japanese, it doesn't seem to be as specific. I've seen some alternative translations that say something like, "I will do it," or "It will be done." Also, bear in mind that in Japanese, Demise doesn't have a name, only a title, the Bringer of Demise. The entity we meet is implied to be the most recent demon to have this title. Fi, Fi, Vo Fum, I smell the blood of an ancient one, states that the Bringer of Demise has assumed many forms over the ages. The one thing all these demises share in common is their attitude, their hatred and malice. But these demons are a curious bunch. Commonly referred to simply as monsters in the English translation, these creepy little critters aren't quite as mindless as they first seem. The hero of Twilight has several meaningful interactions with King Bulblin, who states that monsters or demons choose to follow the most powerful entity they can find. But there's more to demons yet. Did you know that demons can become human? Well, you probably did, given how prominently Batro features in Skyward Sword. Anyway, this is a demon who becomes human through the power of gratitude. It makes me wonder if the reverse is also possible. Can hatred and malice turn a human into a demon? Well, luckily, we don't have to guess at this. What about Ganondorf? He was a Gerudo, but he became a demon. The Demon King, no less. Presumably, it was Ganondorf's hatred and malice that transformed him. The exact opposite process as Batro. And when Ganon became hateful and powerful enough, he assumed the mantle that previously belonged to Mr. Boombastic over here. So this can explain why multiple incarnations of Demise can coexist at the same time. They aren't bound by blood like Zelda's, or by soul like Link's, but by hatred. The next bringer of Demise could come from anywhere. They only need to be hateful enough. Back to the curse itself. Most Hyrule historians interpret these events to be Demise cursing Link and Zelda in that moment. Now, tighten your tunics and hold on to your sailcloths, because I'm about to blow your mind, as if it was a wall with suspicious cracks on it. Is Demise placing a curse, or is he describing a curse that already exists? Well, we are given details about previous bringers of Demise, but also of a previous hero. The Skyloftians have a legend wherein the goddess Hylia gifts a sailcloth to her chosen knight. And before you say that the ancient hero was Link himself when he travelled back in time, just know that doesn't make any sense. It's a cool idea, and I see the parallels. The ancient hero was gifted a sailcloth by Hylia, and Link was gifted a sailcloth by Hylia's mortal form. But the ancient hero can't be Link. Link never uses the sailcloth in the past, and by the time Link arrives in the past, Skyloft has already ascended. So how could Link possibly start this legend? No, there must have been a previous hero. Well, what do we know about this hero? Well, not much, unfortunately. No, the manga isn't canon. But we do know something. Demise is surprised when he first meets Link. He is surprised that Link is a human. And if the previous hero was also a human, this wouldn't have been the case, would it? But what was this previous hero? Well, if Hylia gave up her goddess form and became mortal, maybe Link. Was the original Link the fierce deity? Right, that's enough. I'm starting to descend into baseless speculation. Back to the curse. Skyward Sword doesn't seem to be the first Demise cycle. It's just the origin of Zelda specifically. And think about it. Why would Demise include Link, the only one with the will to stop him in the curse? If anything, Demise is the one being cursed. It is Demise's curse. But who was he cursed by? By the goddesses? Or by his own hatred and malice? Has this endless feud between two rival clans warped the poor demon folk into twisted, malicious shadows of their former selves, doomed to let their hatred and malice spread and fester, infecting anything it touches? Is that Demise's curse? So there you have it. The entire Zelda timeline is nothing more than a sliver of a much larger, much longer, and much, much more convoluted story about intergenerational hate and the endless cycle of violence it causes. I hope you learned something, although, if anything, you probably feel like you know less about Zelda than you did, but no!